Hey guys, it's DJ Andy here again. On the time-lapse video where you saw me setting up all my gear on that gig, a lot of people have asked me how and where I got the facade thing that goes on the front, the DJ booth, the screen, whatever you want to call it. And I actually said I made it myself. Being a qualified joiner and everything, it was quite easy for me to do that. I've got all the tools to do stuff like that, but I'm just going to show you roughly how it was made, and hopefully you might get some ideas of your own, and just basically experiment with a bit of materials that you might have. I actually bought the materials, so it probably cost about £50–60 to make, but it is quite sturdy and it's quite effective. But here you go, I've just brought two screens that are set up now. So if we just look at these now, right, there you go. Excuse all the mess in the room. These are basically made out of MDF. Done a few diagrams which may help in somebody. Here they are. Here we go. Basically, what you have here, this is some instructions that I put together. If anybody would like these, I can either email them on to you or send them through the post, whatever. Anyway, this is an 8x4 sheet, or 240mm by 1200mm. It's cut into 4 sections like that. Now, some wood places will do that for you. The likes of B&Q, who have a cutting service, will be able to do that for you, and they're all 2 foot each wide, so you end up with 4 panels out of the 8 foot section there, which is basically what you just seen there, and the two panels here. There you go, that's 2 foot wide by 4 foot high. Now you can make this any sort of height you want, any sort of width you want. You could either make 4 foot panels or whatever you'd like, but I've done it that way for ease of packing up and everything. Once you've got them cut, then you have to sort of like make a frame, which is this easy. This is the frame. There you see. Basically you need to measure roughly, that's about 3 inch, which is the 3 inches from there to there, like there to there, and there to there is 3 inch. So you're making a square all the way around the screen. Don't have to be perfect, you know, a few millimetres either way, as I would say, and not to 1 inch. You can actually do what you want. Even if you wanted to make a curvy edge like that, or a wavy edge, you could do that, that's no issue. But doing it this way, you have one solid frame out of a piece, rather than if you're trying to mitre something, you'd have to get the miters really strong, and considering you're transporting it about as well, it's going to get knocked, and obviously the drunk people at the parties and things like that are going to lean on it, so you need something a bit sturdier than mitering and things like that. It doesn't really work, to be honest, because if you dropped it, it'd just fall apart like a picture frame would do. So really I decided to make it out one full piece rather than trying to be technical and mitre it. Took a bit longer. Once you've actually got your line marked out on the paper, you can see you need to drill 4 holes in each corner, which should be there and there. I'll just show you on here again. Yeah, so you're drilling a hole here and a hole here, and the same at the bottom. So you've got 4 holes. Then what you need to do is get your jigsaw, you know, a power tool, and you just cut in steadily across there, and the same all the way around until the piece falls out. Now the edges may be a little bit rough, Now you could either get a router to use them off, or just get a sander and sand them so that they look more or less straight. And once you've done that, you can get a router to round the edge off like that, or you can just use sandpaper to round the edge off. You need to take the rough edges off, in other words, because this MDF, it does tend to flare up and get bitty when you paint it. The same at the top there, because people will be putting their hands on that. I didn't round the edges off on the top, by the way. I just did the edges here and here. Now the panels in the middle, they're made out of the same principle as the framework. Is you're getting 8x4 sheets of, this is 12mm MDF. It's just what I had left in the shed after the job. But I'd recommend using 6mm or some plywood if you can get hold of some plywood. It's quite expensive, this plywood though, to be honest with you. Or you can get offcuts from a local timber yard somewhere like that. Probably might be the best idea. They'll do them for a few quid each, no doubt. But these are 12mm MDF. I bought them in for a job, and the job got cancelled, so they were surplus to requirement, and they was in the shed getting damp. And as anybody knows, out MDF, once it starts getting damp, it's useless and no good to anybody. But basically, to do that one, is I did a star configuration using various different sizes of hole saws and drill bits, spade bits, anything you've got to hand, and basically made the star configuration, as you can see. By looking at that, is you've got a hole saw, all these are hole saws, all the way up, so it starts with the big one in the middle and then gradually works its way down to small ones, and then it's the opposite way with these, the small making their way to the bigger ones. These other little holes are all just random size drill bits, and then using a countersinker, just countersinking them slightly, just so that they give off a bit more light. There's the way I did it. If you can make sense of that, it's just basically you're forming a square in the middle and making sure that all these lines are central, so you can follow the lines, and then measuring each distance between each hole so it all looks equal, and then doing the same on all of them so they all look equal. The best way of doing it is to put all your sheets together. So say if you're making a 4 panel, is to pile them all up on top of each other, clamp them together, and then drill through all of them at the same time. Now I'd recommend you using a power drill for that rather than a cordless drill, because the cordless drills will just run out of batteries after each hole you're cutting, because the hole saws do tend to take a lot of strain on the drills. They're alright for doing 1 or 2, but if you're trying to drill through a lot of material at the same time, you'll be going for days and days and days. So you're better off with a power drill if you've got one with a variable speed on it. And please use safety equipment, you know, the goggles on the eyes, masks, ear defenders if you need them. This does get very, very dusty. I'd recommend, if you've got a garage, to use a garage, because that's probably the best place to make this, if anywhere, because it will get very, very dusty. But once you have made it all, it needs a good sand, and then it needs prepping for paint. Now obviously this is being used and used and used and used, so it's getting scratched. It's getting ready for another coat of paint anyway. So it all needs a good sand. This paint was like a silvery metallic, is supposed to be, for the edges, but I thought it would kind of make a difference for doing weddings and doing normal gigs, you see, because it just still look kind of the part for a wedding. The other thing is, you've really got to do the edges. Once you've painted it, keep sanding them, because the edges do get rough with the fibres in the MDF. So you've got to keep sanding and sanding. to get it smooth, so there's no sharp edges on it, because obviously people put their hands on it, they'll catch them, and they will put their hands on it, trust me. Right, we're going to go to the back of it now. So we just turned it round. Now we can have a look at the back. Now it doesn't look that impressive, this, but this is like just like lycra that I had left over. You just stapled it. It just covers the holes up, and once your light is shining behind that, it does give you quite a good effect. You can use like the parkans or the mega bars. What I've started doing is using the lights on my system, pointing them down from the tripod onto the thing, and it still has the same effect, so it saves a lot of wiring. Now what I will show you, if you could just drop this a bit closer, is the hinge. This is the hinge, and you'll have noticed in the other video that I actually slot them together. That's because they are drop and pin hinges. As you can see, there's the pin there, and there's the drop side of it there. So it's basically a male and female hinge that drop together. Now the trick is you have to put one side of the hinge higher than the other side, so that they're not meeting at the same point. So the top one there is going in, the bottom one should just slot in. Once you wind it up like that, so that's not going in, but never mind. But if you do that side of the hinge slightly higher than that one, that will ensure that you can get both the hinges slotted in, rather than trying to do them precisely. And just remember, screws don't go through the other side, so make sure you measure the screws before you do it. As far as I can tell, that's it for this. But as you can see, it just folds up like that, so you've got your two sections as like so, and it really does make an effective screen, and it is quite sturdy. And this is quite heavy. If you try to carry 4 pieces, it's like carrying a sheet of MDF on your own, so it is quite heavy. But the bonus side of that is when it's up and there, it's sturdy, so when people are banging into it, it doesn't fly about and go anywhere, because people have banged into it a few times, especially when they're drunk, as they do. Just so you know that the black is blackboard paint. They're just basically cheapest paint they had that were in black, and that's what I bought for it. Like I said, this is just silver. You can spray them and do anything you want, do any colour scheme you want. You don't have to do the circle, star section in the middle, just use your own imagination. You can even buy panels for like radiator covers and things that are already cut out if you want, but they are quite expensive to do that. There's a lot of work goes into stuff like that, so you can just experiment with your screen, do what you want really. But that's basically how I made it. Like I say, I've got all the kit and the tools to do this, so it wasn't like it was a major feat for me. But so you might have to borrow some tools, or have a bit, if you know somebody in business or family member who's got a bit of DIY skills, just get them to do it. Give them a tenner, give them a few beers. That's what you're doing it. Anyway, I hope this has helped you today. This is DJ Andy signing out. See you later.